Hey guys.
I wasn't paying attention. I'm looking for the teleprompter.
Welcome to the show.
Our real estate investor show. I don't really know what name we really came up with, but we're glad that you're here. Thanks for joining us today. You've got, of course, Wendy Sweet and Jonathan Davis. And Billy is busy.
He's busy, and we have a great guest today, Dave Payerchin, and he will be on right after this.
Awesome. We're glad to have you here today. I think we are going to get right into it, right?
Yeah. No, there's no breaking news or anything like that, but
every day is breaking news. You kidding me? The rates are up. The rates are up.
Yeah, but
inflation's up.
We do want to welcome you to the Real Estate Investor Show. We are Carolina Hard Money. We make hard money loans to investors. We also are an accredited investor fund. You can go to our website, carolinahardmoney.com. And if you are an investor, you can click on the investor tab. If you are a borrower and you would like a loan, you can click on the borrower tab. Also, don't forget to
like, share, subscribe,
hit the bell. All those fun things.
And we're on Rumble.
We are on Rumble now. And
awesome.
And we also don't forget about Wednesday with Wendy.
Oh, yeah.
Wendy gives 30 minutes of your time per person to talk about anything real estate. It's great for real estate planning. What do you want to do? Do you want to buy? Do you want to invest? Do you want to
be a lender?
Do you want to be a lender? Yeah, all those things.
All kinds of stuff here. And I'm booked really through the first week in August.
Oh my goodness.
I know it sounds like I'm really, really busy, but I have to admit I've blocked out a lot of time for the summer because I want to relax and enjoy myself a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
We plan on traveling a lot in July, so book now because it's getting booked up, and I'd love to have an opportunity to meet with you.
Absolutely. And without further ado,
I do.
We want to bring in our friend Dave and go ahead and bring him in. Yeah, awesome. How are you?
Hey guys.
Hey, welcome to the show.
It's great to see you, and I love what we were talking about right before the show opened. You have some big news you'd like to share?
Lots to share, but on a personal level, it's really crazy. So we found out that we were pregnant, and we found that out, and we kind of kept it on the wraps and whatnot. And we got to be 12 months pregnant, and we announced, hey, we're having a baby. And it was very exciting. And I put it on my social media. Everybody was very excited. We kind of waited past that first trimester. You guys know that's typically a safer time to kind of make these kind of announcements. And that happened at 12 weeks. We made that announcement. 18 weeks, which was 2 weeks ago, we went into the doctor and they said, you got 2 babies coming. You got twins. So I'm going to be the father of 2 identical twin little girls.
Oh, that's so awesome.
So you guys won't get to see me. I'm used to seeing you at various mastermind meetings. Obviously we've known each other over the years. Love seeing you guys, but I have called off all my travel for the short term for sure. So
that's
absolutely
glad we get to hang out a little bit. Lots to talk about happening in the markets, and I'm still very much staying on top of everything. But I've been pretty busy at home, as you could imagine. But it's good to get away from that for a moment and hang out with some good friends with all you fine folks here at Carolina Capital.
Awesome.
He's trying to sprint past me. I have 3 girls.
Okay. And you got a lot to go up against Jonathan, because Jonathan caught his babies at home with catcher's mitt.
Wow.
We had 2 home births. The first one was not planned.
He means the birthing part wasn't
Yeah.
planned to be at home. That
Yeah.
was cool the
Yeah.
way it happened, though.
It was.
Wow. So we're actually having, it's a very rare type of twins, and it's called mono twin. So it's monoamniotic and monochorionic. And I don't assume you two know what this is. I had no idea. In fact, a lot of our friends, we work with a lot of medical professionals in both of our businesses, raising capital and whatnot. And
Right.
I've had this conversation with numerous medical professionals who have no idea what this is either. You really got to be a specialist, with pregnancy and whatnot. But essentially, both babies are in the same amniotic sac. They have their own individual umbilical cords, and they're attached to the same placenta, making them identical twins. But that adds some risk when there's no membrane dividing the babies. So they're literally swimming together. There's more risk of kind of cord instances and accidents and things like that. But we are monitoring the situation extremely closely.
Yeah.
And we just had an ultrasound today, so everything is looking really good. But we appreciate your thoughts and prayers, for these babies. And we've made it this far, and we're gonna see this thing through. And it's just a very exciting time. And I'm learning about all this stuff as I go. I mean, this is
Wow.
crazy
Yeah.
stuff,
Well, you can count on prayer from us,
Yes.
and since it's mono, you need to name one of them Mona.
Oh man.
That is so awesome. I'm really, really happy for you.
Yeah.
That's super cool. So it's kind of funny that you've got this big change coming, but you also have a big business change that you made. Talk a little bit about that.
Lots of business changes. In fact, there's so many massive business changes going on in our world here in Columbus, Ohio. I'm not quite sure which specific change you're referring to, but I'll share some of the biggest changes that we've made. So at the end of 2021, my business partner RJ Pepino and I looked at our business and looked at our numbers, and we were like, we are not really hitting the numbers, that the goals that we have set for ourselves. So we went through a massive change within our organization. We actually parted ways with 60-70% of the company, and we brought on all new people. And it was very difficult, whenever you part ways with anyone. It's never a personal thing, as you all know, as business people. And it forced RJ and I to wear the hats of every department within our business. But we have brought on new people, and we hired a new COO, an operations manager. We have a new sales manager and a new rehab and construction manager. So that was some pretty big changes, but we are absolutely killing it right now. And I'm excited to get into this with you guys and what we're doing to find deals. We're still working with, private money and hard money. So it's very relevant, I believe, to a lot of your listeners. Last year we closed a package of 433 properties, in addition to our day-to-day house buying business, where we bought, I think we only did 76 deals last year, on top of the big package that we did. But this year we're on pace to do 400 plus deals. And we're just getting after it constantly. We're all over the state of Ohio. Columbus is where we live, and it's one of our main markets, but we're also in Cincinnati, Dayton, and Cleveland. And we are direct to seller with our business. So we do a lot of marketing. We have a pretty hefty marketing budget. It's worth it though. The way I look at it in investing, in real estate investing, if you could put out $1 and get back $5, it's like put out as much as you possibly can. So we're doing a ton of advertising. We're doing TV commercials now. We're doing direct mail. We're doing online pay-per-click advertising. It's been very good for us. And we have a local real estate investor and real estate professional group of over 7,000 people that is bringing in some referral business as well. But yeah, things are extremely busy. I'm in the studio right now. We have a nice office here in Columbus. So if any of your listeners are ever in the Columbus area, definitely look us up. We'd love to have you here at the office. And we're just, we're blessed, we're grateful, but we're extremely busy. Not only personally with these babies coming, but professionally. Wendy, Jonathan, I am getting after it hard. I'm very focused right now. Our team is running on all cylinders, and we're crushing it in 2022. We're ready for a good remainder of the year for sure.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
When you say like you departed ways with like 60% of your business,
Correct.
is that where like you all were doing like turnkey rentals to investors and then you switched, or can you talk a little bit about what that departure was?
That's an excellent question. And RJ and I, so we did the turnkey business for many years. And for any of your listeners who are not 100% familiar with what the turnkey business is, this is where an investment firm like us will, buy a property, get it fixed up, get it rented out, and then sell it to an investor as a turnkey property or a property that's already fixed up and rented out. And we did that for years. But what we found as basically the market heated up and the inventory got harder and harder to come by, honestly, and this is like the most honest thing. You're never going. What I'm about to tell you is what every single turnkey operator thinks, but nobody would say this. But here's the honest to God truth: the juice is not worth the squeeze. When the inventory started to dry up and become more scarce, we had the epiphany that if we're doing all the work to find this off-market deal, we're taking all the risk to raise the capital to acquire this property, we're taking all the risk to rehab this property. And in my opinion, if we can get into this, I believe the construction aspect of real estate is even more risky than the finance part or the property management part. The rehab will kill you in this business. And if we're taking on all the risk to find the deal, to fund the deal, to fix the deal, and then we're turning around and selling it as a short-term hold, we only held the property for a couple months, so we're paying the highest amount of taxes as a short-term flip, right, on the profits that we make. And now we're basically, at the becking call for this end buyer who says, oh, I got a light bulb that went out. I don't want to pay you retail. I don't want to pay you anymore. Like now we're taking orders from the person that we sold the property to.
Right.
It's just the juice is not worth the squeeze for a turnkey operator. So we have the epiphany. It's like, look, if we're going to find the thing and we're going to fund it and we're going to fix it, we're keeping it. Plus the interest rates were so low. Yes, we're probably going to get into the markets and get into, the interest rates. But, we basically refied about 150 rentals over the last couple of years. We have a blended rate of about 4.5%, 30-year fixed rate money. Yeah, spread across the portfolio. So I'm glad we had that realization to kind of move away from the turnkey business when we did, because it allowed us to build our own portfolio. If we never would have got out of the turnkey business, we would be here sitting with you today, owning no rentals, still taking orders from these turnkey buyers who essentially, they're bossing us around when we took all the risk and did all the work. So it's not a very scalable, good business long term, in my opinion. I think if somebody wants to be a real estate investor, some guys, and let me backtrack, some guys got it dialed in. We know Mark Delatour. I mean, this guy's crushing it. SBD Homes out there, our friends, Glenn, who is doing deals in the Carolinas out there in Texas and stuff. There's a handful of people, Merv down in, Birmingham, Alabama. They do a great job. There's a handful. There's probably 20 or less of like turnkey companies who got it dialed in and they crush it and they do a great job. But for us, it was just not for us. So we got away from the turnkey business. We had that same staff. And really the reason we kind of, top graded, if you will, or, got rid of out with the old, in with the new, was just performance, like there's an old saying, and you guys have been in business long enough to know the saying. It's like sometimes the people who got you where you're at are not the same people who are going to get you where you're going, right? So we were just looking at our goals. RJ, my business partner, you guys know RJ as well. He's got a baby at home and a baby on the way. We're having babies over here. It's like, hey, we got to start hitting our goal. I mean, we're not spring chickens anymore. We've been doing this for a while. So we just had to top grade the talent in our organization. We did that. And it's a little scary. And you guys know that as well. People are a major investment for a business. When you're investing in, especially in the labor shortage that we're experiencing, you got to pay big bucks for top talent. I mean,
that's right.
The reality of it. So we stepped out on a limb and we're paying, we made some pretty big investments in our people, and it is definitely paying off. I mean, it's pretty inspiring to see this machine just cranking out deals daily. We're doing deals every day out here in Ohio.
And you're keeping them and renting them. Is that correct?
Well, a lot of what we're doing now, Wendy, is if we're keeping it, so if we're going to buy a property and fix it up and keep it as a rental, we're only doing it for the Airbnbs. And you got a lot of experience with Airbnbs, and I know we've discussed this offline a little bit. I think you sold some of those properties. I'm guessing,
some
right?
of them, but we're still picking them up every now and again. Yeah.
So we like the Airbnb model, especially in a rising interest rate environment, because I believe, and so the ones that we're buying and holding, we're going to lean towards the short-term rental. If we can make it a short-term rental, we will. But we already have a portfolio of stuff we've been acquiring over the years, and a lot of what we're doing right now is just flipping. I mean, we're flipping out over here. We're flipping like crazy.
So you're kind of like a mini iBuyer.
We're like a mini iBuyer. We're privately funded. As you guys know, we raise a lot of money and we work with a lot of people like Carolina Capital. It's just like, this is where we get our money. This is what I would encourage your listeners to do. If you're a real estate investor, this is how you make money in real estate. You go off market. You got to find off market deals. If you think you're going to be driving around with a realtor and find something that hits the market and you're going to buy it and, fix it and make money. No. You got to invest in yourself, and you got to invest in marketing to find off market deals. And then when you find that motivated seller, a good deal, you need to be able to pull the trigger fast. So if you don't have the money yourself, you got to call Carolina Capital. You got to call your investor to fund these things quickly. There's no time to putz around here when you got a motivated seller, because if you can't close and you can't work with a professional organization who's going to fund your deal, they're going to work with somebody else, and somebody else will get that deal funded. That's what we're doing. We're going off market, finding off market inventory, because that's where there's a scarcity of right now. We're bringing the inventory to the market. We'll buy the stuff off market. We'll fix it up. We don't do majorly extensive rehabs, but we do some pretty nice rehabs. Pretty much use the same materials in every single house. And then we turn around, bring it to the market. And the retail market is still very strong. I think we'll have some softening in the markets whenever you raise the interest rates. Obviously, it's going to affect the market. But on the contrary to rising interest rates, what else is not happening? Builders are not pumping out products like crazy. They're pretty slow because building materials are very expensive and whatnot. So I do think we're still going to have a relatively strong housing market, simply because there's so little supply and there's not a ton of new supply hitting the market. And especially in the affordable house sector, that's what we specialize in. Whenever interest rates go up, whenever the free money goes away, the discretionary purchases, the luxury purchases are the first ones to go. So the Rolex watches start coming down in price. The new cars start coming down in price. Used cars start coming down in price. And if you look at the economic data, used cars have been coming down now for the consecutive 3 months, right? Things are starting to soften with these rising interest rates. And how does that apply to real estate? Well, guess what? The luxury houses, they're the first ones to feel the pain. Miami beach houses, California, Florida, East Coast, even parts of Carolina, you guys have these expensive houses. That's where I would show caution. If I was, finding off-market deals, you find this luxury home. Well, guess what, everybody? When the interest rates go up, the pool of buyers for a luxury home basically gets cut in half or worse, right? There's way less buyers who can afford that. So we stick to the affordable housing, typically values between 100 and 300,000. We've seen a lot of strength continuing in that price range, and that's just pretty much what we do in a nutshell.
Yeah.
That's kind of what
So what are your thoughts on really what's happening now? We've seen crazy inflation. We've seen interest rates. I mean, just the 2% that they've gone up here recently, that's a $375,000 house. That's $450 a month it's going to add. You've got, and then inflation, the cost of food, the cost of gas, it's just crazy. I'm hearing, like Jeff Watson said this, I think I've heard Dave Phelps say this as well, that there are going to be a lot of people out there that refinance their houses, got it jacked up to the hilt. There's not a whole lot of equity left, and they're going to have trouble making those payments. So, are we going to see more foreclosures come on the market? And who's going to get them?
I think that's like the most obvious and logical thing to think is like, yes, anyone who's, borrowed a ton of money against their property. But you got to also ask yourself, this refi boom, and by the way, refis have completely fallen off a cliff. I mean,
Right.
nobody's refining
Right.
anymore. But for the last several years, yeah, nobody's refining right now. But in the past several years, a lot of people, it was a refi boom going on. You guys know this very well. And what type of paper were they refining into? They were refining between 3 and 4.5% fixed 30-year fixed rate mortgages. So yes,
Right.
they may have a lot of debt, and that's true, but you can't really compare. Not saying that Jeff Watson or David Phelps was. I didn't see those posts, but you can't really compare today to previous downturns in the housing market like 2007, 2008, because that's when everybody was doing the ninja loans, no income, no job, no assets.
Right.
Liar loans is what they were calling them. Anyone with a pulse could just sign the paper. And that's what was driving up the demand, is because anyone could get a loan. Well, actually, the credit worthiness of the buyers for this last refi boom is very strong. I mean,
That's
these are all
true.
700 credit score buyers. So do I foresee a big wave of inventory coming? No, I don't. And I don't see a big wave of inventory coming from builders because of inflation, because of the building material and the labor shortage that's going on right now. So I do think if somebody is running into trouble with their payments, I mean, really, as it stands right now, and I guess it also has to do with the price range or the value of the house. But in the markets that I'm dealing in, between 100 and 300,000, you put a sign in front of your house, and as long as it's not at a way over crazy price you're trying to get for it, you're going to get some offers on this thing.
Yes. Yes.
So I don't think, the courthouse steps and buying foreclosures at the courthouse steps and buying REOs is on the radar as of right now, is like deal flow, and that's going to be a big thing. But I mean, it's what's happening right now is yes, the inflation is running wild. I mean, the CPI came out yesterday. It's 8.2, and that's the the nominal CPI. That's what they tell us. That's the CPI, right? That's the government CPI. The real CPI, I mean, you could feel it at the pump. It's up way more than 8%.
Yeah.
You guys all know that, food and gas. So I think people are going to get pinched. And the first things to kind of go is discretionary stuff. So I think where you're going to see prices really come down is boats and vacations. And I mean, airline tickets are absolutely ridiculous right now. And subscription services. I mean, all this stuff has to come down before the housing. So like, because people are going to cancel their Netflix subscription before they stop making their house payments. People are going to stop paying a lot of ancillary discretionary stuff. So I think we got a ways away before that. But yes, that is like the logical, obvious thing to assume, that people are going to be, maybe have their expenses go up. But remember, that payment that they refi it up to is not changing. So I would foresee other expenses getting cut. And honestly, in the single family real estate space, this actually makes me very more bullish on our space of the single family houses, because I think discretionary real estate like storage, somebody's going to cancel their storage unit bill before they stop making their house payment.
See, now you're using fighting words. We just bought a couple storage facilities.
Hey,
fighting words.
I'm not saying it's a bad deal, because you make your money when you buy. I'm sure you guys bought a good deal.
That's right.
But somebody who paid too much, you guys don't pay too much. You're smart investors, and you work with smart investors, and smart investors are the ones listening to this show. We all know how to buy appropriately. But this stupid money, this fun money, these people who are like buying properties, paying way too much, and say, oh, it's a tax shelter. These crazy, California buyers, they know nothing about real estate, so they pay over the top retail for stuff. They're terrible operators. They don't know how to manage property. Those are the ones you got to get worried. I'm not worried about you guys. But in the single family space, I think it is the most insulated form of real estate, simply because I believe people will cancel discretionary expenses, including discretionary real estate expenses, before they stop making their house payments.
Got it.
Yeah, I mean, that will happen. What we see, what we think we see projecting down the line is the last, let's say, 6 months to now, investors who are buying homes to fix and flip or what have you, not you, but other ones that are getting like 85% loan to cost,
Oh yeah.
90% or loan to value rather, that are really stretching and are compressing those margins. Like that's the area where I think we're going to see more
Yes.
foreclosures come through. It's these people are like, it's a sure deal. You just buy real estate and you make money, right?
Yeah.
And you jump in and they're at 90% loan to value. And well, the market didn't appreciate 22% like they thought it was going to. And now they can't make any money and it's easier to just walk away. So I think we're going to see foreclosures on that side for sure.
I agree. So the weak operators always get shaken out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the weak operators, the know-it-alls out there, the people who want to get involved in real estate, all I got to do is wait a couple months, it goes up in price, and I'm able to sell it. The greater fool theory, I know I'm foolish for making this buy, but I'm going to sell it to somebody dumber than me and make money. That's like Bitcoin. That's, that's
That'll
what's
catch
going
up
on.
to you.
You said that was
That'll
Bitcoin.
catch up to. So yes, I think the weak operators get shaken out in a tighter market. But this is where the cream rises to the top. This is where the strong survive. So another thing, like you were saying, Jonathan, is people who maybe didn't underwrite the property as conservative as they should have.
Right.
I see a lot of national lenders who are lending 85% loan to value on investor loans, or not anymore, but they were 3 and 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, when if this investor was a weak operator, and hey, when the money's cheap and everybody's a buyer, it's easy to cut corners. It's easy to just kind of get the house on the market, rush the house onto the market because you're going to have multiple offers. But when there's less buyers, and that's what a rising interest rate environment produces, now there's less buyers. Well, guess what? Those buyers have the opportunity to be a bit more picky. And if there is a choice between somebody who cut corners and the rehab looks like crap, or somebody who did a good job and rehabbed this property, they're going to take the better product.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. The cream will rise to the top. The strong always survive and thrive, but it really comes down to exactly what you said, which is underwriting your deals conservatively. Underwrite your deals based on fundamentals, not speculation. Underwrite your deals where if you got into a pinch, you could rent the property and still produce a cash flow. I mean, you're going to be pretty insulated from this stuff. It's the speculative investors who always get wiped out, especially in the luxury markets and the high-end homes. They paid too much for stuff, and they're weak operators, and those are the ones who get affected the fastest in the world.
So Dave, if someone wants to invest with you, how can they reach you?
So I'm on Instagram at @TheRealDaveP. You could go to our real estate training website. It's on the screen, I think, creamre.com. Those are pretty much the best ways to find me. TikTok, I'm also at @TheRealDaveP. And this is what we do. I mean, we're talking real estate all day, every day.
Your old TikTok videos are great, by the way.
Oh, that's RJ. RJ is my business. People know RJ. I mean, we were hiking Camelback Mountain out in Arizona. Somebody stopped him and took a picture with the guy. He's like a little celebrity. He's got like I'm not kidding. It's crazy, right? But yeah, contact me. I'm always open and make myself available as I possibly can. We do calls like this weekly with our community. I'm happy to hop on your guys' show anytime, but this is what we love. We genuinely love this stuff. We follow it every single day. We do deals every single day.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Great info, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. I wish we had more time. I mean, I know we could talk for hours on this stuff.
Yeah, and we're actually over our
for me,
time.
guys. I really appreciate it. Sorry we ran into a little technical difficulties last week, but we got through it, and I'm happy to be
We almost returned the favor this week. So
almost didn't make it on, but we worked it out. But thank you so much, folks. You know how to get in touch with Dave. We put that up there for you, but we also are getting ready to speak at Quest Expo in September. But it's such a great event to go to. If you want to learn how to be a lender, if you want to learn about things that you can invest in, Quest Expo is the bomb. There'll be a lot of people there. You can go to questexpo.com. You can get a 30% discount by putting in Fairman 30.
Fairman 30, not Sweet 30.
That's right. And if you are if you're somebody that wants to lend money, you can go to carolinahardmoney.com, click on the accredited investor tab, or If you are a borrower and you want to learn about short-term loans and long-term as well, we do portfolio lending as well. Go to carolinahardmoney.com and click on
The borrower tab.
the borrower tab. That's
Yep.
right. I was going to say apply now, but there's videos, all kinds of good stuff on there that'll help you learn more of what you need to know.
Yep.
So I think that kind of wraps us
That's
up.
it. Guys, thanks so much. We'll catch you all next week.